I come. Time for lights just now. Rich my arrow. Good night, my arrow.
It may not seem like much for more experienced riders, but for Everett Ramdeo, being able to go the distance is in itself a milestone.
I'll pass it through Santa Flora here. I'm going. Brilliant sunset.
Everett, who began again to ride over a month ago, starts most rides in Penal, but goes as far as Blanchisseuse, Mayaro, Cedros, and then makes the journey back to Penal. He's hoping that his rides inspire others to get into their own form of fitness during these tough times.
Leaving Port of Spain, heading back down south. South Key. Goodbye.
Alright, Inspire TT people, we here in Batshire Trace with Everett Ramdeo. Everett's story is one where he's actually taken up a challenge. I mean, he's been in riding for over how many years, Everett?
Since I was 7 years.
Wow. So that could tell you that's over 30 years. Yeah. And you know, Everett has made sort of been a social media sensation where he leaves Penal, ends up Maracas, Blanchisseuse, Cedros, Mayaro, on this trusty bike behind us here. So today we're going to talk to Everett about his passion in riding cross country and what would have compelled him and inspired him and give him the passion to do so. Everett Ramdeo, how do you feel today being here and knowing that you are doing something that the average citizen in Trinidad and Tobago don't know much about?
Okay, first is I feel very proud of what I am doing, and I am seeing that it is inspiring a lot of people across the country. So that alone is a sort of self-satisfaction. Yeah. Because cycling in itself is not a very popular sport in Trinidad, and it's a nice thing. It's a simple sport, not expensive, and you could go traveling all about and see places without using your vehicle. So you would get exercise and reduce pollution.
So tell me something, this bike, when did you get this bike and when was the first trip?
The first trip with this bike would have been the one to Cedros.
And what would have given you that the drive to do that? I mean, why just pick up the bike and just ride to Cedros?
I actually wanted to do a bike packing tour. I couldn't do it. The only place to do it was in Trinidad because the gates closed. You couldn't travel anyway. And the bike packing tour would entail hundreds of miles. And so I decided to do it in Trinidad and use my home as a base.
So tell me, how many places you have gone so far with this bike? And I mean, people would say, what kind of mileage and hours do you take to get to these destinations?
Initially, I started a bit small. So the Cedros trip would have been the first trip. That was 3.5 hours to go and 3.5 hours to come back. Imagine that would have been about 26 miles to go and about 26 miles to come back. And then on the extreme, the most recent one is from Penal to Blanchisseuse and back. That was about 166 miles.
Wow.
And that journey took us about somewhere around 17 to 18 hours.
So tell me something, Everett. You have been doing this, and what kind of background do you have? Why riding and this distance? Why take the challenge?
Ever since I started riding bicycle, we always had a desire to ride long distances. And whenever we accomplish a certain distance, our next goal would have been to challenge that distance and go further.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, you're seeing from Everett that he leaves Penal on this bike, goes to Blanchisseuse, goes to Cedros, Mayaro, where else again there? Port of Spain.
Yeah.
And you may say, is there some level of conditioning, mindset? What goes into your mind to prepare? Is there a preparation mode, or you just pick up the bike and just ride off?
Now, first of all, you have to be mentally prepared. Right? And I would say it's like 80% mental preparation and 20 to 25% physical fitness. Right? And in terms of mental preparation, you have to be aware and conscious of all the downsides of riding. So while going through your trip, you might fall, you might get punctures, sometimes people might insult you on the road. You have to be able to be aware of those things and don't let that spoil your momentum.
But do you think that Trinidad, because I know in Trinidad, there's always an issue with bikers, bicyclists and motorcyclists asking for respect on the road. Do you see that respect on the road as a cyclist, especially going these long and far away distances from your home in South Trinidad? Is there a level of fear of someone rolling over you, those kind of things? You know, these things do happen.
No, I would say no. Right? We do get a lot of respect on the road, but there's just a small, I would say like a 1%. Yeah.
So, Everett, we see most of your rides, I mean, from what you have captured on your journeys before, and why go in the night? Why use the night as the best option to go to this far, this or early morning or late evening?
Yeah. I use the night because there's not much traffic on the road, so there's less risk. And then there's not much wind and also sun, right? And then also I have to work in the day.
How do you balance the two?
With the work and riding?
And riding, yeah.
Well, they would have some days where it would be good for riding, and I would plan my work in a way that I would have the time available to do the ride and have the time to rest and recover when I return.
So tell me something. Have people seen you now have other cycling friends who have joined you on this journey? I mean, how large is the community of people who do this type of long distance riding?
Well, I recently met up with 2 groups, right? And I ride with just about 5 or 6 people in one group. But the groups have about 30 people each in both groups, but you wouldn't get the 30 people coming all the same day.
Tell me something now. What's the next step? What's the next challenge for Everett? Because we have seen you done 18-hour ride, 6, 10, 12-hour ride.
Yeah.
What's the next challenge? What was the next challenge?
The next one is we want to go from Penal to Matlot.
Wow.
And back. And we might do it in about 2 weeks' time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much miles is that and how many hours?
That would be approximately, it will be a little less than, maybe about 175 miles return. And the journey should take us maybe about 20 hours, 18 to 20 hours.
That's non-stop?
Yeah, but that's, although we say non-stop, you would have rest stops included. Okay. Yeah.
So Everett, I wish you all safe journey on this another milestone that you all will be carrying. And you know, what would you say in regards to Trinidad and Tobago in regards to, you know, using this format in ways of tourism and bringing, you know, bringing a sort of a healthy styling, a healthy lifestyle, you know, using cycling as an option, would you inspire people to you know, get a bike, try, or what would you advise to what advice
Yeah.
would
The
you give
advice
them?
I would give to anybody, regardless of your age, right? Cycling is a nice sport. You have different disciplines in cycling. You don't necessarily have to be doing long distance. You could do park riding, right, for all ages, and you have different types of bicycles, right, and at different price range. And at the end of the day, you want to have fun, and you will also be getting exercise. And the more healthy the population is better for the population, right? And more people who are getting involved in cycling as a form of exercise would be good. Yeah, you would improve your health. It's a very good exercise, and it's cheap.
You hear it from Everett Ramdeo here. We're in Batchia Trace in Penal, the center of where Everett starts most of his trips across the country. And in a little bit we'll show Michael Ramsing, you know, learning a trick or two, where he gets on the bike and learn a little bit about what goes into it physically and mentally to reach these distances, as Everett has done in the last few weeks. All right, so more soon. Alright, so to do the first part of the interview, and as usual I'm trying to do the second part and try to connect it together. I don't have much experience riding. I could ride a bicycle, a BMX bike, but I know this is a little bit different. The last time I ride a bicycle like this, I ended up on the rundown because I ended up in the bush, Trinidad, if I remember. Yeah, Everett, so I'm going to ride this bike. You're going to show me a little bit of the tips of riding this type of bike compared to the BMX bike.
Alright.
What's the difference?
The difference with this bike compared to a BMX, the BMX really designed for park riding or street riding, right, or small trails. Whereas this bike is designed for road riding and more long distance riding.
You have a name for your bike? I know some people it's called a car Betsy. You have a name for your bike? Or?
Nah, this bike again, the Cannondale, but the brand is Cannondale.
You recommend having a proper bike to do the road riding that you do, or you could use a BMX, or what would you recommend?
So I would recommend a bike. What could suit your budget? You have bikes from different range of prices, and you look for a bike what could match your budget, and what your body could fit into appropriately.
I mean, you feel any bike
Yeah.
compared to a BMX bike is a very light bike. One of the things Otto touched on his interview, and I probably could expand on because I'm going to ride the bike. What does go through your mind mentally when you're riding on the road and you have other drivers and stuff like that? What does go through your mind in terms of safety?
Every pedal you make, you have to be cautious of what at the back of you and at the front of you, and even to your sides. So you always have to be on the lookout for any sort of obstruction or anything what could cause an accident.
For any of the young inexperienced riders out there who may be wanting to go and ride on the nation roads, what do you tell them to think about?
The first thing you should think about is your bicycle safety. Right? You should wear a helmet and have your lights, right, if you're riding in the dark.
Yeah.
Right? And develop experience riding on the road gradually. So don't go out riding too fast, right? And as you spend hours riding on the road, you would gain more experience.
Is it something now, right? And I know you had your own special technique in terms of how you diet and that kind of stuff. You recommend having a
a particular diet when you want to do a long road ride? What do you recommend for?
Yeah, what if you're planning to do a long distance ride? A smart thing to do is the term is carb load, where you stock up your body with carbohydrates, and you use that for fuel to run out your journey, because you don't want to be going through your journey and your body out of fuel.
Has that ever happened to you before?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you normally...
Yeah. So like the day before, some hours before, you eat a little more carbs.
Alright, so I'm going to try and ride your fancy bike here. First step, helmet. What are you doing with the helmet?
You adjust the helmet. You have an adjustment to the back here. When you put it over your head,
Yeah.
right, you just allow the straps to go through your ears.
Yeah.
Like that. And you clip it underneath.
I must be looking like a big baby at Trinidad, but safety first. That's why we wearing the mask.
Right? And this adjustment just need to be right under your ears.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of almost set for me. Right. But your head is about the same size as mine, so yeah.
So my head big or small?
Average size. Yeah.
Average size head.
Yeah.
No, a little older, so you see the swing your leg over here, right? What are you doing? Kicking off? What are you doing?
But you put you set the pedal halfway and you just hold the two handles together. You put your two hands on
I
the
noticed
handles.
you had. So this is brakes here.
Yeah.
Front and back.
This is left side is front.
Front.
And this is rear. Right?
Right. And I noticed when you're changing gears, you're pushing.
This is to adjust the sprocket to the back. And this one is to adjust your plate in front.
No, we won't be going through all of that.
But
We did a simple little ride in the yard here because I don't think I experienced even going down main road ride. The main road ride in Trinidad, but I don't think I have that experience.
But the most important thing if you decide to ride bike is to make sure that you have fun and you enjoy what you're doing. Regardless of the distance or the discipline you're riding in.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have fun. That's all.
I think that's one of the main reasons why we reach out to you on the Inspire TT team here is to be able to inspire others to, even though we have this time home and we lock down, is to find ways to still enjoy yourself while being safe.
Yeah.
And are you wearing the helmet? You're wearing mask?
And as you ride and you're having fun, you would naturally take it a notch up and carry it to other levels. Yeah. If you want to distance riding, or if you want to fast riding, or if you want to do stunt riding or off-road trails, mountain bike trails, whichever one is your passion, you could go for it. You just start from you just make gradual steps.
All right, so we feel like a big child here, so we're gonna try.
Yeah.
All right, I kick off here. I feel like I'm too short for this bike, boy.
Yeah, because the saddle adjusted for my height. But you are a bit shorter than me.
I don't know how you're doing it long right now. Are you doing this right? I feel like
you want to go out in the road or?
Huh?
You want to go out in the road?
No. Be on the road? No. Trust me, I told myself we do enough road accidents to know. Baby steps.
Yeah.
But I get a little confidence.
But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like
So if you have any training we could do inside in home, in house if you want to?
What you could do is you could set up a stationary bracket and spin home with the bike. And you could even you have them selling where you can add resistance and things to it.
I noticed you have a little white man let's call it, eh?
Yeah. I get that just now.
But all of that is part of learning to ride, right?
Yeah. Can't play mass and fruit powder.
Let me ask a question though. Is there any I know you ride later hours. I mean kinda like after hours because of work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you have anything that's go through your mind in terms of anything you're afraid of while on the road?
No. Some people might have a fear because it's the night. But that is just in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you advise somebody like myself who not as experienced to ride in a group
Yes. Ride in a group and ride with experienced people so they can train you
Yeah.
how to ride on the road. That's the smarter thing to do. Rather than going out by yourself and riding initially.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
with that, Everett, thanks for being here
Yeah.
on Inspire TT. Michael here. I know I didn't really do much of the
Yeah.
riding, but I got the experience, as I said before. I wanted to actually feel the bike. The bike is a very sensitive bike. From riding it, you could tell.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope we inspire somebody to start getting their own form of fitness, try cycling, but do it the safe and right way. Thanks, Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for enjoying us here on Inspire TT. Yep.
You meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do